Chris Howard, the Department of Rehabilitation. Hey, Chris, this is how bad it is. I see the name up there, and I'm just reading it like it is. It was a typo as far as the name's concerned. And I told Alex once, I said, Alex, I have the brain power that I've already spent everything I have by the time I sign on. So if it's on there, I'll read it. So I do apologize for calling you the wrong name this morning a couple of times, but I think you know who you are.
Well, I'll tell you, I play football and I'm married, so there's not a name you can call me that I hadn't already been called. So
both of those, that's training grounds for that. Look, October is the National Disability Employment Awareness Month. One of the questions I have is, how have you guys fared with just almost historic hot weather across the state? Has that been a problem?
With hot weather? No, not too bad. You know, we operate what's called Ability Works, which are 15 community rehab facilities around the state. And, you know, a lot of times that's kind of like warehouse type work, but we do have air conditioning in all the warehouses.
Well, I'm just talking about maybe some people who are disabled, some of the older people out there who've just maybe don't have any air conditioning. Was that a concern during the summer?
To be honest with you, we really hadn't seen any major concerns. Okay, through our special disability programs, we've got personal care attendants who go out there and serve our clients, and we have not had any reports of lack of air or anything like that.
Give me some ideas what's going on this month.
Okay, so the month of October is designated by the U.S. Department of Labor as National Disability Employment Awareness Month. But, to be quite honest with you, at the Mississippi Department of Rehab Services, every month is Disability Employment Awareness Month. So, as an agency across the entire state, we love to show what people with disabilities can do and how loyal they are to the workplace, and to be honest with you, how it changes the culture of the businesses that we're able to change clients in. So, we always love to say it's a win-win-win. It's a win for us, it's a win for the client, and it's a win for the business.
I saw an article, it's been a couple of weeks back, but I thought about you guys. I thought if any agency has to be more excited about the possibilities of what AI can do in the future, the Department of Rehab would probably be one, because there's so many things that are possible with that artificial intelligence being able to help out.
Yeah, I tell you, technology is incredible.
Amazing.
As you know, we've got an assistive technology division within our agency, and part of their responsibility is to keep up to date on the new technology and report that to counselors. And you start talking about, you mentioned the new iPhone earlier. There are so many apps out there for people who are blind or deaf or maybe intellectual disabilities. So many great things, through the phones. And we're talking about driverless cars. Whoever thought that would ever happen? If that, that's a possibility for individuals who are blind or visually impaired. You think about transportation being the hardest thing for people to overcome when they gain employment. And
I think a lot of people think about this, thinking ahead 15, 20 years from now, where the accident reports are going to show that there are far less accidents with autonomous cars than people driving, and there are going to be some laws restricting people driving themselves. And I hope we get to that point, if it's that good, that saves lives. But it is changing so fast, it may not take 10 or 15 years.
Yeah, we also do the prom campaign, which is, the thing we do during prom where we talk to kids about being safe. And I think the stat was 2,000 kids die every year across the country through, vehicle crashes during prom season. So, you think about a driverless car, texting and driving is a huge issue. Unfortunately, drinking and driving is an issue as well. But, to have driverless cars, and like you said, in 10 years to see how that progresses could be really huge in saving lives.
There goes that driver's ed job at the school.
That's probably true.
So just one of the many changes that will happen. Any other special events going on?
I tell you, we are hitting it across the state. We're doing social media. We're doing, of course, radio interviews, TV spots, print ads, speaking engagements. Just really trying to get out there across the state and talk to employers and potential clients about the work that we do. So, the work we do is individualized. It's for the person, but it's geared towards the business too. So we have a business development unit.
Yeah. How is that going? I know you guys have been placing more and more people into the workforce.
We are. Prior to COVID, we were doing pretty well. After COVID, I mean, it's just a feeding frenzy out there for jobs. It seems like we're having turnover within our agency. Because hiring is so great across the state. So, we're finding that businesses maybe who we haven't worked with prior to COVID have contacted us and said, look, I hear what y'all are doing at X corporation. We would love to be a part of that too. So, it's really exciting to see the synergy going on around the state in an effort to hire people with disabilities. And, when you look at the stats, it's like, I think the Bureau of Labor Stats says, a company that diversifies their workforce and hires people with disabilities, they've seen a 90% increase in their retention rate and a 72% increase in productivity. Yeah. So,
absolutely,
that's just, again, it's a win-win-win.
I think every time you come on, I'll get feedback, and for several days, people will say, "Well, I heard your interview. I have a father or a brother or a cousin who has this ailment. Would they have something for him?" You got to go. No matter what it is, from an infant to an elderly person, there are so many things available for you that the Department of Rehab is in one of the divisions could probably help you out.
That's right, because, when people think of disability, generally you think of someone who's maybe blind, deaf, in a wheelchair, has a prosthetic. But, in the term disability for our agency, it's so much more. You're talking about intellectual disabilities. You're talking about, of course, physical disabilities. But, we're talking about ADHD. We're talking about anxiety, PTSD, dyslexia. Maybe someone who's recovering from drug and alcohol abuse. That's also, possibly considered a disability. So, it's not just, like I said, what we normally think of, blind, deaf, or someone in a wheelchair. Yeah. And then when you talk about school age, kids, you think about the kids who are in special ed or under an IEP. But again, this is a child who may have a learning disability who doesn't have an IEP. We can serve those young adults as well.
You've been doing this for a while now. And you're funded mostly with federal funds by a vast majority that comes from feds. Has that ever been in risk, or have they changed that one way or the other over the years?
We've been very fortunate. A couple of our programs have a state match, and the state legislature, has been very good to us. And I hope they love our agency and the work that we do. So we've always been able to meet our match and draw down those federal funds. And to be quite honest with you, we were watching the news pretty close last week when they were talking about a federal shutdown, trying to see
that would have affected
what was going to happen.
So I guess in 45 days you got to go back through that again.
Yes, sir. We'll be looking at it again, making sure we've got everything in place to make sure people can keep working if that were to happen.
How many people do you serve across the state?
Ooh, it fluctuates. We serve about 15,000, 16,000 through our vocational programs. Serve about 4,000 through our special disability programs, and that's where we're helping people stay at home as opposed to a nursing home. Mm-hmm. And then the people who apply for disability, we do the disability determinations for Social Security, and that ranges from 50 to 80,000 depending on the year and the people who file.
You're doing that just for Mississippi? At one time you guys were doing it for a couple of states, were you not?
I think about 10 or 12 years ago, we were helping other states out, but we're strictly doing Mississippi right now, yes, sir.
Got about 30 seconds to wrap it up, sir.
Okay. So, look, if you're a business out there, we would love to partner with y'all. It's a great win-win situation. You think about your turnover. People with disabilities are so much loyal to the employer. We help individuals get ready for those jobs, so please call us 1-800-443-1000 and ask for our business development department, and we would love to partner with your business around the state.
It will be one of the best moves you've ever made. There you go.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it very much. That is Chris Howard. Mississippi Department of Rehab. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.